शांति शांति। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधिता भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
We are in the section of Jnani Lakshana, continuing, and we saw how there is a need to be vigilant, no matter how much one knows and how sure one is of one's vairagya. There is a need to be vigilant because forcibly the mind can get taken away. When one is not looking, that's when you are not looking, when you are not vigilant, the mind can just get taken away. Mind gets carried away by these binding desires that take one for a ride. So even the person of knowledge is told here to be constantly vigilant. And so it's fine to have the desires, but the mind does not go along with the desires. That is the idea. So then, verse number 61. Tani sarvani sanyamya
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
yuktaha sita matparaha
युक्तासीत मत्परः
vashe hi yasyendriyani
वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि
tasya prajna pratisthita.
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
Tasya prajna, that person's knowledge is said to be established. And who is this person? Vashehi yasya indriyani. Vasha means under control. Svavasha, under one's control. Paravasha, under somebody else's control. So, Vasha means under one's say. The one who has a say over the ways the sense organs behave, over the way the mind behaves. So the one who has a say over the ways of the mind. This is called Vashehi Yasya Indriyani. So the Indriyas are with me. They are not with the objects of desire. The mind is also not gone on vacation to visit the objects of desire. The mind is with me. The sense organs are with me. And where am I? I am in the driver's seat. I am driving and they are all seat belted passengers. This is how to look at it. Otherwise, what happens? They put a gag and they tie me up and they take hold of the car. Why? Because it's my karma. You can't say that. You can't say that. It's my karma, that's why the indriyas are taking control. You cannot say that. Because there is free will. There is free will, and so therefore vashehi yasya indriya. The sense organs are playing in the fields of the sense objects, but without affecting the person. Atma ratihi, we saw yesterday, Atma kridaha, Atma Ramaha. These three words, very beautiful words, we will encounter towards the end of the Mundakopanishad. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, somewhere Atma Kridaha, no, not in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhashya, it will come. And so, Atma Kridaha means the one who is established in the I as whole, as free, as limitless, as free from sorrow, pain, etc. And so the world of objects is just like a plaything. Just like some dolls, like you can make, what is that? You can have some cars, 2 cars, you can go like this and make them crash. And children do this. And 2 toy objects they can take, like dolls, and make them fight. And then make them hug and make up after the dolls fought. So this is all a play, and one knows that it's a play. So, vashehi yasya indriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. How does one get there? Tani sarvani sanyamya. Two ways to make sure that one is established in the knowledge. Tani means what? Tani means all these objects of desire, all the indriyas which go after the objects of desire. Sanyamya. Yama, discipline. Samyama or sanyama, proper applied discipline. Proper discipline. So that is the first one. Discipline is advised. And then second, cultivating a contemplative nature. Yuktaha, the one who is together. Yuktaha, asita. Asita means may the person sit. Sit. So, sitting means what? Everybody can sit. No. Matparaha asita. Matparaha means what? Completely absorbed in me. Who is me? Ishvara, Bhagavad, Lord Krishna. But here Lord Krishna is not referring to himself, the historical Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is presented as Bhagavan, Ishvara. And that Ishvara is referred to here, the mind fixed in Ishvara. That's the second way it is concluding verse of the Sthita Prajna section ends. Second, Upaya. So what is the first Upaya? Disciplining what?
Sense organs.
Sense organs. Discipline of the sense organs to make sure that they are on a leash, like the dog. So it doesn't go too far. In America, even children are put on a leash sometimes. I have seen. And so they don't run away and hurt themselves. That is the idea. And so here, the sense organs are put on a leash, much like the painting and photographic and painting depiction of the Bhagavad Gita. All the horses are on a leash. Reins. Reins are in the hands of Lord Krishna. So like this, the leash here is the mind. The first level of, what is that called? The first level of restraint is the mind. Then the buddhi. So like this, they are all very well disciplined, number one. Second, even if they saw in the previous verse, what did we see? One can discipline, one can forcefully withdraw and do prachanda tapas, very strong tapas one can do. One can say, I will not do this, I will not do that, and then make oneself not do that. But then that is just a suppression rather than overcoming that particular desire. So therefore, so the longing remains. Where to take this longing is given at the altar, that is Bhagavan. First we'll talk about it as a sadhana. So at the altar, that is Bhagavan. So what is the sadhana here? As a sadhana, you take recourse to prayer. Ask Bhagavan to take away this strong desire, or to not let you manage it properly. That also is an option, to let you manage it, to take it away, etc., etc. You do that, and then that is one way to develop the strength. Ask Bhagavan to give you the strength. So this is for the sadhaka, for the person who is still on the path to gain this knowledge, this kind of a prayer, mat paraha. I am paraha means the ultimate for whom. That is what it is, mat paraha. So become one for whom Bhagavan is the ultimate and the final recourse, resource, etc. So in fact, go to the source. That is as a sadhana. But what about the person of knowledge? The person of knowledge, Lord Krishna says, he is also vatparaha. That person is also completely absorbed in me, but with a difference. As a sadhaka, with the sadhana, what does the person do? The person is still praying, still saying, give me this, give me strength, give me this, give me that, etc. But the person of knowledge will not say, give me. Who to say, give me from? Who is there? Nobody. That Ishvara is myself alone, tasya prajna pratisthita. That knowledge is very well established. So who to look for to say anything? And besides, what is the reason to look for? Because I don't want anything. There is nothing to ask, nothing to tell, nothing to look for, nothing to search, nothing to avoid, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. So therefore, in that case, what is the person advised? Nididhyasane, in nididhyasana, kalam naya nirantaram. Spend your time absorbed in Bhagavan, as Bhagavan. Spend your time just being yourself in communion with Bhagavan. How? This is what is called contemplation. The words of the Shastra are recalled. Many kinds of contemplations are given in the Shastra. You can, the word Purna, we have understood to a certain extent. Purna means what? Full, whole, limitless. Purnoham. I am free, I am full, I am complete, I am whole. You can't do this if you don't know the meaning. And you can't do this and see, it's like a catch-22. Until the person is contemplative, you cannot contemplate. And until contemplation takes place, you cannot become contemplative. So this is the problem. So therefore, we just try it little bits like we do in the meditation. We try it for short periods of time and hope that exposure to the teaching makes one tranquil and contemplative in nature, because even though to contemplate is a verb, it is not an action. Just like the sun shines, to shine is a verb, but in the case of the sun, it's not making any effort to shine. It simply is of the nature of shining, and in the same vein, here also, that same teaching applies. What is the teaching here? This is not an action. This is just your nature. Naturally, the mind resides in the heart, it sinks into the heart. Not the real heart, the figurative, spiritual heart. And then there is a quietude, there is a tranquility, there is already a shanti because you don't want anything. Otherwise, the eyes are darting back and forth, and some or the other effort is being made, either to get some validation or to make a friend or to worry. Yesterday, this person was my friend. Are they no longer my friend? They did not look at me. They did not smile at me. All these things. Do they not like me anymore? All these things keep coming, and so therefore the tranquility which is one's own nature is eclipsed. Eclipse, Yeah, is eclipsed. Rahugrastha divakarendu sadrusho maya samachadanar sanmatra karanoka samharanato no bhut sushuptah kumar रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये. A stanza from the Dakshinamurti Stotra. Rahugrasta Divakaraha or Induhu Sadrisha. Sadrisha, like even the sun or the moon caught by Rahu. Who is Rahu? Shadow planet. Shadow planet. The shadow, which is just a shadow. The shadow planet, we say, catches hold of the sun or the moon. And then you have either a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. And similarly, the avarna, the eclipse of Maya, catches hold of the head. And the head, the buddhi, is eclipsed. And it's as though the person is sleeping the sleep of ignorance. And when awoken by the Mahavakya Tattvamasi, when that becomes a Suprabhatam, a waker upper, so to speak, when awoken by that, one is like, oh, I just didn't even know I was asleep. For how long was I asleep? Like this, the person is fascinated. So here too, the person is just like, and then person disidentified with everything in the sleep and in the dream states. The whole Jagat and the desires born of living in the Jagat, dream state, dream-like state. Oh, nobody loves me, dream state. I think I have offended somebody, dream state. How to make up with this person, dream state. Why is this person like this, dream state. Why I am like this, dream state. Waking up, you shake off all that, there is nothing other than you. And so here the person of knowledge is in a contemplative state. It is not an effortful contemplation. So naturally tranquil mind, because it is a mind that is awake to its own nature without being eclipsed by the avarana shakti. Avarana shakti means avidya of Maya. It is free of avarana, so there is no veiling of that. And so therefore the person can just, the person is just reliving the Shastra which one has studied, like even the cow which is let free into the grasses by the farmer, quickly goes and nibbles. The cow has no sense of time. Quickly goes and grass, it eats. And then what? I'm not being led home. I'm still to be here. It doesn't know it has the whole day. And then it has eaten its full, and Bhagavan has given it how many stomachs? 4 stomachs. Four stomachs. And then it goes, sits under a tree, and all these things which it quickly ate, it brings it back, chews it properly. It's called rumination, chewing the cud. And then it savors the wheat grass juice and then slowly ingests it around, say, without any pressure. Similarly, the eager student of Vedanta, the eager brahmacharis, like the cows, munch from mundaka grass and kathopanishad grass, taittiriya grass, what else? Chandogya grass, Brihadaranyaka, big patch of grass, 100 pages Upanishad. Kena grass, Vishavasya grass, quickly, and then, oh, that's all. There is nothing else to do except live this knowledge. All right, and then you recall, much like the grass being chewed up again, you recall the words. Asangoham, 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 punah punah. Satchidanandoham, asangoham, soham, saham. You can also say saham. Same thing. And so you can say that. And that is not really a prayer. It is these words of oneness, it's the words of the Mahavakya, or it's words that indicate the nature of Brahman as Atma. You can keep reveling in the words, and here the Jnani does that. And for the sadhaka, praise. Sadhaka praise, Jnani contemplates. Then, next one. Now the next two are what happens if you don't do all this. If you don't make an attempt to let go of what? The ajnanam, what all happens is given in the next two verses. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha
Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha
Sangasteshu pajayate
Sangasteshu pajayate
Sangat sanjayate kamaha
Sangat sanjayate kamaha
Kamat krodho bhijayate
Kamat krodho bhijayate
Krodhat bhavati sammohaha
Krodhat bhavati sammohaha
Sammohat smriti vibhramaha
Sammohat smriti vibhramaha
Smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha
Smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha
Buddhinashat pranashyati
Buddhinashat pranashyati.
A not so nice downward spiral is given, where you just go down and you don't even know how to stop. And it all starts innocently enough. How does it start? Dhyanam. Oh, Ishvara Dhyanam? No. Vishaya Dhyanam. Oh, there are two kinds of Dhyanam? Yes. It's the Dhyanam that we do in the temple or in the meditation hall is different from the Dhyanam that is done the rest of the time. Rest of the time, what is the object of Dhyanam? Objects, various objects. Various objects in the whole world. I did not get this, I don't have this, I want this, I have this but I don't have that. So many things. So this is what is called Vishaya Dhyanam, meditation upon objects. Here it's not exactly meditation, although it will turn into that a little later. First, the thought arises as a fancy in the mind. And one says, I think it would be very nice to have some cake. Nobody's birthday? How come there is no cake? Just a fancy. Then after that, the more one dwells on cake, Kekaya Namaha. Because one is keeping on dwelling the cake. And the cake soon leads to a heartache. Okay? Yeah. Cake becomes ache. See silent. Cake becomes ache. And now I'm aching for cake. No cake to be seen, no cake to be found, no cake anywhere. Then this next stage is called Sangha, attachment, over-fondness, Sneha, means clinginess. We talked about that yesterday. Clinginess. So, these are the stages. First is just thinking about the object, repeatedly dwelling upon the object, which is now not even in the form of a desire, it's just a fancy. Then from fancy what happens? It gets to the place of Sangha. Involved with that thing now. I want that thing badly because I love that thing. Actually, by this point, it's not even cake. It's the concept of cake that is much more. The desire for cake is itself causing the Sangha. The object of desire doesn't matter at all. Sangha, and then Sangat Sanjayate. Sanjayate means is nicely born. What is born? Kamaha. Kama is born from Sangha. So from this attachment, clinging to the object of desire, now we can say it's a full-fledged Kama. But then there is no cake. Then what to do then? You see your friend eating something. What's that? Oh, I just got some cake. Where is my share? I ate it all up, I'm sorry. I got 2 pieces. I intended to give you one, but it all got over even before I entered the ashram gates. It's finished. What do you feel like doing? That is what is called krodha. Okay? Only thing is, should I beat up this fellow or should I punch this fellow? Only 2 choices. Well, this is the krodha. But you should be angry at the cake because there is no cake. Why are you angry at the person? Frequently, this is called a displaced anger. Why is it displaced? It is displaced from the cake to the person because you see this person who you thought was your friend. You see this person to be standing between you and cake. Yeah. And the friend sees the anger in the eyes and says quickly, to save herself or himself, says, he told me to eat it. Now where does the anger go? To that person. Now the anger is to that person. Why you are coming in our friendship? Why you are coming in the way? Why you are poking your nose? Why don't you mind your own business? All for one piece of cake. So now you are angry with 2 people for no reason at all. So this is how krodha comes. Krodha comes because whatever is in the way, you want to bulldoze through all that and get to the object of desire right away, right now, or else. This is how it is. Kamat krodha abhijayate. What kind of kama? An unfulfilled kama. And it's not just kama, doesn't mean always objects. It could be a person also. You are not behaving in the way that I want you to. I want you to be a certain way, but you are not behaving like that. Therefore, one is angry. Adi Shankara in this bhashya, in this particular bhashya says, These are the times when people even get mad at the gurus. Guru napi drohayati. The person tells the guru, you are fired. Was the guru ever hired to begin with? No. But the person says, you are fired. I don't want to study with you. Why? Because you like the other person more. That is all problems. And so, some deep-seated ideas. And so therefore, kamat krodha abhijayate. Then abhijayate, jayate. Then up till now jayate is born. So even at this stage there is a way of retracting. Remember the tortoise verse, how you can retract your limbs. Even here there is a point of return. After this Krodha has been crossed, the point of no return also has arrived. Why? Krodha bhavati sammoha. Sammoha means special delusion. How is it different from ordinary delusion? It is different from ordinary delusion because in ordinary delusion there is hope of coming out of it. Here one is far too gone because the unconscious mind is now a tsunami and then it is coming into this situation and threatening this situation, all the old hurts and pains. So this way the brother also used to eat up everything that was for me. That was what? When you were 3. Okay, the same memory is coming back now. And the same issue is happening now. So the unconscious takes a hold. That is when sammoha comes. Sammoha, then what? Sammoha comes. That's what he says. Bhavati. Not upajayate, samjayate. Bhavati. One becomes mugdha. One becomes completely deluded. And then after the delusion, what is the next step? Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. One forgets. Who am I? Not that one knows who am I. That's not the point. But one forgets. Who am I even on the empirical everyday level? I am so and so. This person is Guru, or this person is elder to me, or this person is somebody I love and respect. I shouldn't be saying these things. All that is forgotten. I am here to study, not to eat cake. I have come. So this is, that also is forgotten. All that is forgotten, and then Smriti Vibhramaha. Smriti Bhramshat, when the Smriti here means one's own value system. What all one is in the relative world. Not absolute Satchidananda we are talking about, but in the relative world, what one is, what one is all about. What is my goal? What is my purpose? All that is totally forgotten and destroyed. Smriti Bhramshat. When Smriti Bhrashta, the person becomes a Smriti Bhrashta. When the Smriti goes, then what happens? Buddhi Nasha. Buddhi means the ability to make decisions. This is when wrong decisions are made. This is when difficult things are said. Or relationships are given up for no reason at all. You are no longer my friend. It's very easy to say that. Over a piece of non-existent cake. You can say that. But it's very difficult to take the words back. So the words are like an arrow which has its own momentum. And I talked about this before. One person in the forest heard some rustling sounds. And he thought, hunter. And he thought, tiger, oh my God. And he just released the arrow towards the direction from where the sound was coming. When he parted the trees and the leaves and looked through the bushes, it was a harmless cow. Can he say to the arrow, come back? No. Same thing the words are like. Buddhinasha means the person has absolutely no viveka here. Viveka, how do you spell it? Vairagya, forget that it even exists. Shama, Dhamma, all these are very strange words in a strange language. I don't know what they mean. And not only do I not know what they mean, I don't care. So the buddhi is gone. The buddhi is reasoning, logic. That is the last reserve of any semblance of the person coming back. That is the last place where the restraint can possibly take place. Buddhinashat, what happens? The person herself, himself is totally destroyed. Buddhinashat pranashyati. So we have a nice downward spiral with some stations along the way. This is a train of no return with some stations along the way. First is dwelling upon the object, and then after that attachment to that object. If you keep thinking about something, you suddenly become fond of it. Whatever it is, you try. Even if you don't particularly like it that much, you start thinking about it, then you start developing a fondness for it. And that fondness becomes a full-fledged karma, third step, third station, and then down this spiral of no return, the train of no return. And then, if you don't get down at this station, it will go further. What is the next step? Anger. Krodha is the next station. After that, it is hard to get down because suddenly they announce that the train is not going to stop at any further stations. The stations will go by, but you are not able to get off. Krodha, then delusion, sammoha, and then smriti bhramsha, and then buddhinasha, and then finally crash and burn. This is what happens to one's own value systems. And so this is given as a cautionary, a cautionary set of verses to remain vigilant, especially coming at the close of the second chapter and coming at the close of the Sthita Prajna section. So then, how does the person of knowledge avoid this downward spiral? Is given in the next two verses. Let us read. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu Vishayanindriyaishcharan Atmavasyairvidheyatma Prasadamadigaccati Prasade sarvadukhanam Hanirasyopajayase Prasannachetaso hyashu Buddhih paryavatiṣṭhate Nasti buddhirayuktasya Nachayuktasya bhavana Nacha bhavayata shantihi Ashantasya kutas sukham. These three verses are on the topic of Shanti, both relative and absolute. So, here is the person of the enjoying Shanti. And who is this person? Raga-dvesha viyuktaha. Free of Raga and Dvesha. Raga and Dvesha are not creating problems, pushing the person and troubling the person night and day all the time. Raga, Dvesha are nicely sitting in one place, or better yet, they are sleeping. So the sleeping means they are dormant. They are not actively troubling the person all the time. What about this? What about that? Is not at all there. And so Raga Dvesha Viyuktaha. Tu means whereas. Whereas for the person who is free of Raga and Dvesha, then Vishayan Indriyaihi Charan, moving in the land of Vishayas. Vishayas means objects, moving in the world naturally. Here again there is a part of Veda in my other text. Let me just look at something. So, moving in the world of objects. Moving in the world of objects. Why? How? Freely. Because why? The Raga Dveshas are managed. So, Charan, moving, living in the world of objects. What happens? Then the free from the likes, prejudices, preferences, etc. Then the person attains Shanti. Relative Shanti, but that is very important. From the relative Shanti doesn't mean Shanti that comes from living with relatives. Okay? Yeah. Relative Shanti means Shanti until the person's mind is disturbed again. That is the Shanti. Shanti for a person who is a Bhakta, who is wanting to be a Jnani. That kind of a Shanti. Relative Shanti is there, and you can take it both ways here. If one is a sadhaka, this is talking about relative Shanti. If one is a Jnani, then the Shanti is absolute. One is absolutely free of the desires causing havoc in one's mind, in one's heart. So either way, the person is free, because here the person has tamed the buddhi, tamed the Raga Dveshas. And the Raga Dveshas are not creating problems for this person. Vishayan Indriyehi Charan Atma Vashye Vidheyatma. Vidheyatma is the one who has a say over oneself. This Atma is not Atma Brahman. Atma means oneself here. So one has a say over oneself. One is together. One is not easily disrupted. One is not easily, one's value system, one's focus, one's clarity, one's purpose in life is not easily scattered by what other people are doing, how other people are behaving. Nothing can disturb the person. This is what is called Vidheyatma, Svecha. According to their own way they go. But then they are not, you can put them in a noisy nightclub, still they are not disturbed. You can put them anywhere, and they are not disturbed at all. And so if it's a jnani, we can take it like that, or for a sadhaka also, this is the way to go about it. Then prasadam adhikachati. Prasada, we know what prasada is. Prasada is like a gift from Bhagavan. Here, prasada is one's own Shanti is the gift, tranquility. But here we should also define or translate prasada as cheerfulness. Because the less one is run by the raga dveshas, the more one is free to be cheerful. one has a sense of humor, one can laugh at oneself, one can laugh at others. Everything in the world seems funny. You don't need a joke, you don't need entertainment. That is why Bhagavan doesn't need entertainment. All Bhagavan and Bhagavati have to do is to look at the jivas. Each one is a reality channel. Each one. One is sitting and saying, Tan man dhan sab kuch tera hai. Oh Lord, my body is yours, my mind is yours, my wealth is yours, sab kuch, everything is yours. And Lakshmi says to Lakshmi ji, Goddess Lakshmi says to Vishnu, didn't he say that just yesterday? If he is given everything yesterday, how can he give it today? And Lakshmi has to calm him down, Vishnu has to calm down her and say, they're all like that, don't worry, don't take them too seriously. They themselves don't know what they are doing half the time, and most of the time they themselves don't know what they are saying. So this is how it is. And so, therefore, it all comes down to, as the chapter closes, it all comes down to Raga Dvesha alone, nothing else. So, free of the Raga Dveshas, even while moving in the world of the sense objects, the person attains tranquility, a certain kind of a cheerfulness. So why is this, why are we translating prasada as cheerfulness? Also because of the next verse. Sarva dukkhanam hanihi prasade upajayate. Sarva dukkhanam. So when the mind is tranquil, naturally one is free of all kinds of problems, dukkhas. We saw three sources of dukkhas. Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. One is free because one is cheerful, one is ready to face life. One knows that, okay, today I had a very good day, tomorrow may not be like that. One does not expect that tomorrow will be better or tomorrow will be just like today, day after tomorrow also should be just like today. Who says it should be just like that? And so when you don't expect, when you don't have a whole lot of expectations, then there is reduction in anger. There is reduction in the disturbance. It's not wrong to have expectations, but one must be flexible enough to know that this is not going according to plan. Okay. You know this, what is that, escalator? That automatic staircase. You just stand there and then you go up. And then sometimes children, what they do is they go, when the escalator is coming down, they try going up. It's some kind of a game. 10, 12-year-olds do this, I have seen. But they have to put extra effort because it's moving in the other direction. And then they have to put extra effort to get to the top. So similarly, sometimes you are on an escalator, Jupiter is in the right place, everything is in the right place, it's moving nicely, you don't have to do anything, you just look here, look there, have a good time, you are at the top. And some days it's like this child trying to play and go the wrong way on the escalator. It's difficult. But still, in the face of difficulty, this prasada buddhi, this glad acceptance, this cheerfulness is kept up because all the dukkhas, they commit suicide. They say, oh, I'm so frustrated, I can't disturb this person. I have to just commit suicide, no use. Sarva dukkhanam hanihi, the death of the dukkhas. The funeral pyre of the dukkhas is lit when you greet the dukkha with cheerfulness. That is the antidote. When prasanna chetasaha, this cheerful person in the wake of all sorrows, all challenges, prasanna ashu means quickly. For this person, prasanna chetasaha ashu, buddhi paryavatishthate. The buddhi starts to behave properly. It turns around. The buddhi is in your command. The buddhi doesn't run after the mind, which is running after the senses, which is running after the sense objects. The buddhi is with you, the mind is with you, the sense organs are with you. And so, the buddhi paryavatishthate. This is a very nice set of verses. But then, of course, in the true Gita fashion, supposing if somebody says, I don't like cheerfulness, I don't like shanti, I like conflicts, that's how I know I'm alive. Somebody told me this. I like to be fighting with people. I said, why? Because that's how I know they love me. I said I don't follow. And the person got frustrated with me. You will never follow. All Swamis are like that, they never understand. So, conflict means, because it's the background. It's the background of how that person might have grown up, feeling that comfortable in a certain conflictual situation. So supposing somebody says, I like conflict, I don't want shanti, what's the big deal of shanti? What is the big deal about shanti? What will happen if I don't have shanti? For such people, the next verse is given. Na asti buddhihi ayuktasya buddhihi na asti na cha ayuktasya bhavana asti. So, nasti is not there. What? The proper buddhi doesn't mean the buddhi as the organ of the intellect. No. The faculty of intellect is not talking about, because obviously that person has buddhi. But na asti buddhihi means the buddhi is not functioning properly. As Buddha is not there. Because the buddhi is for focus. Here the person is scattered. The buddhi is to pursue shanti. Here the person is mired, means swimming. No, that's not the correct word. Drowning in ashanti. Drowning in ashanti, drowning in conflict, drowning in a sense of incompleteness. Ayuktaha. Yuktaha, the one who is together. Ayuktaha, the one who is constantly falling apart. Everybody falls apart once in a while. It's okay. Challenges come, difficulties happen, some phone call, upsetting phone call one has, or upsetting visit one has, and somebody comes, says something, and then there is, challenges one has. Once in a while, the buddhi goes to sleep. Once in a while, the buddhi sheds tears. Once in a while, I don't know what I'm doing. Viveka gets away from me. I behave in certain ways. It's okay. Once in a while, people fall apart. No problem. But here is a person who is always falling apart. We are talking of a person who cannot enjoy shanti. Because the buddhi, which is the place where the shanti, which is one's swarupa, shines, has gone away. Gone away means it's there, but it is not functioning. Ayuktaha, the one who is constantly falling apart, the buddhi is not working. Because the buddhi is eclipsed by Rahu Ketu, the buddhi is eclipsed and is not working at all. Then, okay, so I am ayukta, I am not together, so what? Naja yuktasya ayuktasya bhavana nasti. Bhavana means what? Contemplation. And that contemplation was talked about earlier. For shanti we need contemplation. This was talked about. Ayuktasya bhavana, the capacity to contemplate, meditate, to sit quietly with oneself, nothing is possible. So, that is not possible because the mind is agitated. Nachayuktasya bhavana. Abhavayatah, for the one who is not capable of sitting quietly with oneself, forget contemplation, no meditation, no sitting is possible. Nacha bhavayatah shantihi. So this prasada of shanti is not there for the person who refuses to tame the raga dveshas. Here a distinction is made between the person who is struggling to tame and maybe they cannot tame yet, but they are making the effort. These people are not talked about here. The person who is talked about here is not making the effort to tame the raga dveshas, and so the raga dveshas are growing like a seaweed, mushroom. They are mushrooming, they are burgeoning, and then there is no contemplation, no spiritual pursuit, no buddhi, nothing. Naja abhavayatah, for the one who is not contemplative, where will the shanti come from? And then finally, ashantasya kutaha sukham. Pujya Swamiji gave a whole series of talks on the title Ashantasya kutah sukham. Very nice. Ashantasya, for the one who is always in strife, always agitated, always disturbed, where is the shanti? This is what is called aksheparthe kim, rhetorical question. Rhetorical question in Sanskrit is called aksheparthe. Otherwise, if it's a real question, it's called prashnarthe. Here it is aksheparthe. You are not supposed to answer it. Ashantasya kutas sukham. Okay, let's see where this person can get shanti. That's not the point. The point is, this person will never, ever, ever be able to enjoy the shanti. And so this section is closes on the need to manage raga dveshas. Beautiful raga dvesha psychology. What happens if you manage? How to manage? And what happens if you do not manage? Where all this goes? How it goes totally and fully out of control. All this is nicely delineated. Very, very beautiful. Few more verses are there. We'll see them tomorrow. Om Purnamadaഃ Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.